Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor. It's Saturday. It's time for a live stream. Let's get right into it and take a look at these charts and discuss everything that is going on. So I'll be real with you guys. There really is not too much happening in the market at the moment, and we have a lot of indecision, a lot of indecisiveness in terms of how this is all going to play out. So looking at Bitcoin at the current moment in time, we're trading at $105,520. We have completely eaten up the dip from 2 days ago when Elon and Trump had their little crash out, their little feud between one another, right? Bitcoin sold off, came to the bottom of the range, came to the range lows. As we discussed yesterday, we did sweep the range low and we came into that weekly fair value gap. And we've totally erased that entire sell-off. We are now back up to a pretty important resistance line. Why is this resistance line important at $105,842.10? Well, this is the range high. Remember, our orange box, our orange zone here, is the previous range before we had the breakout to a new all-time high. Price came back inside of the range, swept the low. Now it's back to the range high. So we're about to find out if we're going to break out of the range again or if we're going to reject from the range high. So what should we be looking out for? If we look on the 4-hour time frame, we do have a fresh supply area that formed here. And this is really at $108,000. Okay. So that's on the 4-hour. On the daily, this is the picture. That's the wick of this daily candle, essentially, from the 29th of May. If we do end up breaking the range high, I would be looking for a move into this 4-hour supply zone at 108K. And from there, I really am not necessarily expecting a blast off into new highs. Although, one thing to note is the BVOL, the Bitcoin Volatility Index, just keeps on going down, lads. Remember, the volatility index does not tell us which direction price will go. It just tells us when volatility will come. All right, and this is the weekly time frame of the Bitcoin Volatility Index. And what I want you guys to understand is that this is at historically low support. Right? This is historically low support for the Bitcoin Volatility Index. This tells us that we are going to see some action soon, because when this spikes, when this starts to go up again, that just means that volatility is returning to Bitcoin and in general the crypto market. But this is the BVOL. This is specifically the Bitcoin Volatility Index. It is insanely low and it just keeps on going down. We haven't seen the real move yet. Same thing with the Ethereum Volatility Index. It just keeps on going down. As we can see here with the Ethereum Volmex realized on the 7-day, and again on the weekly time frame, this is at historically low support, which tells us that we haven't seen anything just yet on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Definitely important to note, we've just had non-directional volatility and we're chopping around. So yeah, back to Bitcoin here, back to our range high. We'll see if we do get a push here to 108 over the weekend. Now the thing is, there's a lot of people calling bottom. There's a lot of people not calling bottom. There's a good reason many people are calling bottom, because a lot of these levels got hit on the total liquidity charts, right? Total hit, total 2 partially hit. This is the negative, right? This is one reason that we can expect to potentially go lower, is the total 2 didn't fully hit its level. Total 3 hit. Others already hit. Right. All those hit. Now, another reason why we may potentially go lower is Ethereum is still holding this ranging structure, but we still have untapped liquidity levels below at 2220 as well as 2000. So some are expecting Ethereum to hold this range. Some are saying it's going to drop down to these liquidity levels. In reality, people are just calling things that they suspect, maybe to gather engagement. Maybe they actually do have positions in the market. But it's pretty important to note that really, really mixed signals, essentially, is the message I want to get across. It's quite mixed, and I definitely would not be surprised at all if we ended up going down a bit lower to grab these liquidity levels a bit lower. One other reason why the bottom may not be in is USDT dominance. We did hit 4.90%, but we have not come up to 5%, and these are still untapped levels. And, you know, if the market wants to push up, it would make a lot of sense. It would also complete a triple drive at this point. We currently have 2 points of a double drive, but typically for this pattern, we'll see a triple drive. And what I mean by the triple drive is these peaks. So we have the first one here from the 31st of May. We have the second one here from the 5th of June. And if we're going to create the triple drive, it would be a beautiful move right into our levels at 5%. And let me illustrate this with an ellipse on the chart. All right, this is how the triple drive may play out here on USDT dominance, up to the 5 to potentially 5.1% levels. And this would be strong confluence for a bottom if it's given. Okay, a nice triple drive on USDT dominance. Complete it, and then ideally go down to our macro target by late July. And we all have a great summer where we make a ton of money. And then the market crashes and burns until early 2026. That is my full expectation. All right, so we're looking for this to potentially triple drive, come down here to 3.3%, hit our macro target. We sell our altcoins. We're all super happy. We made a lot of money. We get out before the big crash. And then, like I said, we'll probably see USDT dominance come all the way back up to, 7-8%. After our little run here, and then we'll see it likely start to drop again in the start of 2026. But yeah, for now, for here in the short term, let's see if we get the triple drive on USDT dominance. If this is it, if it's not going to go for the triple drive, well, we know what we want to see. Okay, we've had this marked for a long time. Bullish with a higher time frame close below 4.37%. This has been here since February 15th. That's a great day, February 15th. Anybody know why? Drop it in the live chat. But yeah, if we are going to continue lower from here, we know what we want to see. We want to see the daily close below 4.37%. Okay, that would indicate we're ready to go lower. Right now, it's basically a waiting game. All right? We have higher highs, higher lows. We don't have any bearish divergence on the daily time frame for this double drive so far. So maybe if we get a triple drive, we will have some bearish divergence print. We'll see what comes of it. But like I said, really not a lot happening at the current moment in time. Choppy market. Altcoins basically recovering as well. Right here's Doge. Back up to 18.5 cents after hitting 16.7 cents. Other coins like Tau after hitting 350. It went as low as 347. Already back up here to 380. Kaspa, I likely will look to short this again if it pumps up a bit higher. But in general, it is a pretty slow day at the current moment in time, where altcoins are recouping their losses and essentially back to where they were before the crash happened just 2 days ago. Let's see what's going on here in our live chat. And by the way, guys, Bitcoin dominance is still charging upwards. Okay, it's still charging upwards here. It's in this fair value gap on the daily time frame, and it's coming into this level at 64.78%. And we'll see if we get a reaction from there. But, Bitcoin dominance is what we like to look for kind of pumps and not necessarily market drops, right? Because when this begins to drop, we see altcoins typically get inflows and they start to move higher. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see for now, but we're keeping a close watch on Bitcoin dominance as well. Shout out to everyone here in our live chat. We got 60 people watching and only 15 likes. Guys, smash up the like button. I appreciate your support a lot. Please hit that like button for your boy. Thank you very much. Shout out to Justin Credible. He says, let's get it. We also got Charles Perez. He says, good morning, fam. What up? What up, Charles? We got Matt1 who says, good night. What's up, Matt? Good night to you. Hope you're enjoying the evening. Shout out to Declan Wyatt who's saying, to smash the like button. My man Declan knows what's up, guys. Smash the like button. And he says, what's up, Connor and Empire fam? Yes, sir. Let's see. We got FBS. He says, good to see you, Connor. Good job on calling the 4.90% USDT dominance level. That was a very accurate call, my man. Thank you. Thank you for saying good job, man. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it feels good, right? It feels good to get some credit. Because I do these live streams not every day, but basically every day. And it's always good to get recognition from the audience that does watch me every day. So I appreciate that. And I hope to continue to call accurately because, again, my job is not to make people happy. My job is to make people money. And how I do that is by calling things accurately. So that's my goal here. That's basically my only objective is to be correct. Yeah, that's the market. So, yeah, I appreciate that, FBS. Shout out to DD. What up, DD? And we got Coin Operated. What's up, Coin Operated? He says, let's go. What's up, lads? Big bro Connor spitting bars with a technical analysis update. This is my bread and butter. Smash up the like, fellas. Shout out to Coin Operated. You guys are hyped up today in the chat. I can see it. Appreciate it. Let's see. We got Mitchell. He says, the past 3 to 4 years of crypto, mostly altcoins, have been exhausting. Do we just have to persevere and hodl? We're opening up a can of worms with that question, right? Do we just have to persevere and hodl? If this previous cycle has taught us anything, it's that hodling altcoins really is not necessarily the way to go. So, yeah, I would say to really, if you're not into TA and trading, I would say to learn trading because that's the future. Let's see, we got Retribution Tales. He says, love both KeyCat and Miggles, but can Miggles outperform of Coinbase listing announcement? So good question. Real quick, let's take a look at ETH. We already looked at it, but it is related to Miggles and KeyCat and Base in general. So yeah, look, if ETH is going to make this new all-time high, again, current all-time high is 4,800. And we always like to pull fibs and get our negative 0.27 fib extension. So let's do that real quick. So let's get our extensions up here on the charts. All right, our 0.27, 5,900. That's a nice target for Ethereum, basically $6,000 per coin. So yeah, if ETH goes up there, even if it just goes up and touches this all-time high at this point, it's going to send the base ecosystem on fire. So anyways, let's get back to the question here from Retribution Tales. He likes KeyCat and Miggles. Can Miggles outperform if they get a listing announcement? One sec, I have to sneeze. But I can feel it going away. All right, we're good. We're good. So you're asking me to speculate if Miggles can outperform if Coinbase lists it. I'm going to answer honestly, I have zero idea if Miggles will outperform if Coinbase listed it. I think both KeyCat and Miggles are both going to go up. Which one will do better? Let's flip a coin. Or better yet, we can ask the magic conch shell. Let's do that. Oh, guess what? We don't have a magic conch shell. Because we don't live we don't live in Bikini Bottom like SpongeBob, and they have the magic conch shell. Anyways, it's a good question. He says, and potentially do a Toshi. It's very possible, right? Like, these coins can definitely potentially do a Toshi and pump hard. If I had to guess, I would say KeyCat over Miggles, though. We got Onar. He says, retail isn't back still, so I don't see us launching. Man, we are retail, brother. Like, you guys have to understand, retail, like the people that aren't in crypto and haven't been here the past few years, they more likely than not got burnt at one point in time, probably in the 2021 cycle. And it's going to take a lot for them to come back. I think it's going to take a massive marketing push, maybe even another stimulus check by the federal government to get them to come back. Okay? I've discussed this concept before, where the meme coin scam market we've had for the past 6 to 12 months, it destroyed the credibility of this market. Okay? So in my opinion, we're going to have to see like BlackRock or some big firm that has a lot of money run a hard marketing campaign to get people interested in altcoins, crypto, Ethereum again. So yeah, we're retail for now. That's it. They ain't coming back anytime soon, basically. If you see someone posting or talking about like, oh, retail is going to come and buy our bags and they're holding some random coin no one's ever heard of, you should probably unfollow that person. Keeping it real here. We got Miss Any M. He says, hello, do you think Cubic will be in the top 100 in the near future? During the AI run, yes. Is the AI run in the near future? It might happen in 2026 at this point, man. So it's number 333 in market cap. It's 171 million. Number 100 right now has a market cap of 960 million. So almost a billion. So yeah, I mean, Cubic was already at a billion. Obviously, the rising tide is going to lift all ships. But when AI pumps, Cubic is likely going to do super well. So I can definitely see it hit the top 100. In terms of the near future part of your question, I don't have the time predictor, so I can't tell you exactly when that's going to happen. But as of right now, Cubic is still holding this bull flag structure. It hasn't even dipped back into demand. Let's go to our MEXC chart. So it hasn't even dipped back into our 4-day demand zone. Or actually on the 4-day it did, but that's so strange because on the okay, never mind. The daily wicked it as well. So yeah, the daily wicked it bought right back up. Surprise, surprise, right? That's how a 4-day demand zone works. The higher the time frame, the more accurate and reliable the technical analysis is. So a 4-day demand block, you know, is pretty powerful, and it just keeps on absorbing all the cells into it. So we'll see when this does break out, but I'm fully expecting it to break out. If it does come to the bottom of the channel and it's in this level I have marked here, that's money. That's where you want to buy. It's just a game of patience. The whole market right now is just a waiting game of patience, essentially. And let's go over that. So in this waiting game of patience, remember, we have a macro target on USDT dominance at 3.3%. So what's our macro target on the total crypto market cap again? Let's go over it. So I have a realistic target. I don't have a Moonboy target for a total crypto market cap. There are people calling for 5 trillion, 10 trillion. There's less than a 1% chance of us going to 5 to 10 trillion. Okay, the target is 2.5, 2.49 trillion. All right, that's our target. That's our macro cycle target for the total crypto market cap. Why do we have that as our target? What's our negative 618 Fibonacci extension? 2.5 trillion. That's how we came up with this number. We didn't just randomly get it. This is based off of the fib from the all-time high in 2021 to the all-time low in the bear market in 2022. All right, this is the target for this cycle, 2.5 trillion. When it gets up there, you sell everything. And again, you wait for everything to crash and burn to look to buy the cycle lows. But anyways, if we're going to have an epic run here into, like I was saying, late July, potentially early August. Remember, we have that Fed meeting on the 29th and 30th of July, I believe it is. Yeah, 29th and 30th of July is the Fed meeting. We also have it 16th and 17th of June. So not next week, but the week after next week, we have the Fed meeting. It's going to be bullish in my opinion. And the one in late July will be bearish. So if we have some crazy summer here, if we do have the crazy summer, it's possible. I'm leaning towards this. I'm leaning towards a crazy summer. If we do get it, big if, and we're up here, that's beautiful, okay? Then we can enjoy our fall and winter and then get ready for 2026, basically. Of course, we'll be trading. We'll be here in the meantime. But when it comes to, like, being risk on and bullish, you know, if we go up here by the end of July, it will be full risk off. You'll have people calling for $1 million Bitcoin, and they will end up holding, all the way back down again. So that's what we're looking for on the kind of the macro here, the midterm over the next few months. I think it's important to have these expectations in check. These are realistic numbers, right? This is a 100% increase or so with the total market cap. And there's people calling for a 300% increase or a 500% increase. And I just don't see that happening. Let's see. Shout out to Adrian Kent. What's up, Adrian? We got Joey Joe. He says, I'm buying a privacy coin, secret, Zev, Zano, pirate chain. All right. I haven't heard that in a while. How's our guy R doing? The pirate chain. On the weekly. Yeah, it's at a good price on the weekly. Or just in general, right? At a very historical support resistance flip level here. 14 cents. And Zeph. Shout out to Mexi for listing every shitcoin under the sun. Yeah, these are all in just total accumulation. And I missed Mitchell's comment. He said Cubic is one of the most undervalued coins in the market in his opinion. Yeah, I'm bullish on Cubic too. Been a while since I've seen Zano. I was looking at this thing in the bear market 2023, never bought, but it looks like it would have been worth it. Yeah, really good run here on Zano. It looks the best out of all the charts you've mentioned, Joey Joe, but interesting, the privacy coin narrative. I assume you're bullish on privacy coins because of central bank digital currencies. Of course, Circle, which is the USDC stablecoin or issuer, just went ahead and launched. So CBDCs are coming, guys. 100% they are. Big shout out to All Day Dre as well as Guts Motors. It's great to have you guys here, as well as Dex85 and Raphael. John Valentine says Pump Swap is going crazy. John, how do you even look at Pump Swap? Okay, if you search it, you can't find it anywhere. Unless this is it. But Pump Fund raised $1 billion for their pre-sale. So, I'm not sure what the Pump Swap fixation is, because it's not like the Pump Fund token. If this is it at a 627K market cap, I know you've probably been in from way lower, but yeah, I mean, it's just another pump fund shitcoin to me, and I don't like pump fund shitters, so I'm just going to avoid it. Shout out to Benjamin H. We're all good over here, my man. Let's get into our news right now, guys. Let's get into our news. So we got some interesting stuff happening. Like I was saying just before, we have a Fed meeting not next week, but the week after. I believe it's June 16th, 17th, off the top of my head, those dates. So with that, we have President Trump saying that the Federal Reserve is a disaster, and he's calling for a 100 basis point interest rate cut. That's a full percent point. So Trump wants to cut rates pronto. And Trump is also saying that he is going to announce the next Fed chair. He is going to boot Jerome Powell out of the chair of the Fed. Somebody asked Grok, can he do it? He can announce a nominee. But it's subject to Senate confirmation. All right. So Trump can announce a nominee for the next Fed chair. Also, moving on for news. X officially partnered up with Polymarket and this is pretty interesting. Polymarket's a great betting platform. If you're a degenerate, or if you like to gamble, if you like to speculate on things, Polymarket's really, really good. Whether you like to gamble on sports, crypto prices, whatever, you can use Polymarket. It's cool. It's a good product. So yeah, I mean, the fact that it's integrated into X now, it's pretty interesting. And X, of course, is going to integrate crypto payments eventually. So it's all going to be tied together. Remember the 2030 trade. You own nothing and you will be happy. That's coming. All right, I don't want to be a doomer here, but hey, man, it's the truth. They want you addicted to your phone. They want you gambling. They want you addicted to scrolling social media and every other thing that's going to keep you locked into your phone. So yeah, that's why X is introducing Polymarket. They partnered up with them. Remember, X will be the everything app too. So it's coming, boys. It's coming. A bit dystopian, but it's the truth. Also, moving on. So James Nguyen, after losing $100 million trading leverage, decided he would pivot to a news account. We have a tweet here from Beanie. He says, James Nguyen has pivoted to a news account. Somebody needs to tell him that is Google's Gemini logo. That's Google's Gemini logo, not the crypto exchange. That's pretty funny. So yeah, James Nguyen saying Gemini by the Winklevoss brothers. File for IPO, and he has a picture of Google Gemini. I mean, this guy's he's going full tilt, James Nguyen. He's having a crash out, basically. It's crazy. I mean, it's obviously a plant account, right? He doesn't just pop up and lose $100 million. It's very obviously a coordinated effort to make the public believe something. So, yeah, I mean, they're just trying to stay relevant, I suppose, now. The job is done, right? He had his big charade. Look at me, guys. I lost all this money. Leverage trading is bad. Everyone can see my orders and my liquidation price. Right, so he did his job, and now I guess he's just trying to stay relevant. And also, moving on. This is a joke. I thought this was a really funny joke. So, of course, Elon and Trump were going back and forth with one another. So this is just a total troll, and you have to be in crypto to understand it. So this guy says, damn, that's uncalled for. And this is a fake picture. This is not a real picture. But this is from Trump's Truth Social account, and he said Elon is still taking TIA and DYM. If you don't get the reference, TIA was an airdropped coin in 2024, and all of crypto Twitter, except for me, there was many people who said don't stake it, but I was very vocal about it here on YouTube. I said don't stake it. It's bullshit. The airdrop is just... it's fake. So anyways, a bunch of people were 100% convinced with every fiber of their being that if they staked Celestia TIA, they would get all these airdrops from the ecosystem. So they all staked it and they locked it up, and they had to hold it all the way down with their tokens locked, and they didn't get any airdrops. So that's the joke. Saying Elon is still staking TIA and DYM. Hopefully you guys get that one. Hopefully you got it before I had to explain it. But I know probably over half of the people here didn't get the joke, so I figured I would explain it anyway. Guys, follow me on X if you're not following me. I'm going for a gold check. I'm just getting things in place right now. To get it, then yeah, we'll be verified ideally with a gold check soon. But yeah, follow me at CCell Crypto. CCell, that is me. So go ahead and follow me at CCell Crypto on X. People asking about Arrow. Can it make a new all-time high? I think if people are holding Arrow for a new all-time high, they're going to be exit liquidity. All right. I think if you can catch a move from 50 cents up to around $2, that's an amazing trade. And maybe you can keep like less than 20% of your position for higher prices if they do come. But that's not what most people, like especially like retail traders, do. Okay, they'll typically buy a position, right? And maybe we'll go up 3x, 4x to $2. Usually at this point, they'll say, oh, 4x is not enough for me. I'm going to wait for this thing to make a new all-time high. It's for sure going to do that. And sometimes it does, but oftentimes it doesn't. And they end up bag holding the entire way down. So to answer your question, I would not count on a new all-time high for Aerodrome Finance. Remember, this is a whale coin. If the whales choose to pump this thing, they're going to pump it and it would make a new all-time high. But just retail buying interest would not cause this thing to go to and make a new all-time high at all. So, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily count on it. I would look to be selling on its way up. And then, like I said, you can leave like a 20% or 15, 10% moon bag of the position that you're in from down here at 50 cents. Okay? Leave 20% if it does go make new all-time highs. That's the best way to play it. This way you guarantee yourself to book in profit. And you still have a position if it decides to go up. Why isn't this deleting? There we go. Right? So I think that's the best way to play it. Altcoins in general, Aerodrome specifically here for that question and example. Shout out to Christic90. YouTuber Gokill says, what's the reason you said the English? What's the reason you said we will still experience? Okay, never mind. That was my eyes. We will experience another bull market in 2026. Well, many people predict that it will be a bear market. I think we're going to kangaroo market. I've gone over this. I think we're going to kangaroo market until 2030, essentially. The 4-year cycle is broken. That's why. So people saying KETA, KTA new all-time high. So this is just a total outlier. This is like CASPA in 2022, 2023. So the last time I charted this, we went over this already, was here in this range. Okay, it came to the range low, and from there, after it swept that range low, it's just gone off on a rocket ship. So I definitely don't advise to buy this token at this point in time. But maybe it will pull a CASPA and go right to like a 2 billion market cap. But it's still not worth chasing a chart that looks like this. Morlack says, you're bearish, dude. And a moping face. Does it make you sad that I think it's possible that we can potentially see USDT dominance go up to 5%? That we can potentially see ETH come down here to 2,200 or 2K? Does it make you sad that I think Bitcoin can potentially fill this daily CME gap, which also coincides with the yearly open? If that upsets you, man, I'm not sure what's going on. I think everybody should welcome that scenario because that just means lower prices before a run-up. Okay, so yeah, I'm open to both scenarios. I'm heavily positioned in spot, but I'm open to see prices go lower. So, I mean, when you say I'm bearish, I think it's a very real possibility that things like this can happen. And what else is going on here? Let's see. Joey Joe says the 4-year cycle ain't broken. I've been in the entirety of the 2017 cycle. I know you got in at the end of this. The end. This is giving me deja vu of 2017. Not worried at all. We just entered way too early. Patience. I mean, I know what you're saying, Joey Joe, but just the fact that we have such large, like, we're not trying to compare this to 2017. It's just entirely different. Okay, like BlackRock, the ETFs, Sailor, like all these things didn't exist in 2017. It's just an entirely different landscape. Okay, and we also made a new all-time high before the halving. So by these definitions, right, the fact that we made the new all-time high before the halving tells us that this one's completely different. So, I mean, we can agree to disagree 100%. Where is Ton here? Here we go. All right, so Telegram or the Toncoin. So this was the news that there was a big partnership with XAI and Telegram. Okay, right into supply, daily fair value gap, as well as this daily order block that hit. Sold off right back into the range here. So at this point in time, we have a fresh daily supply zone that just formed right there, and that is at $3.32. And to the downside, we have a weekly demand level. So let's see how it shapes up. And if we do end up getting that USDT dominance to 5%, and you see this drop into weekly demand below $3, I think Ton is a good buy there. And on the flip side, if it does want to go higher, see the reaction in supply. Okay, you got to be watching those lower time frame candles. You got to be at your computer desk to basically be able to judge how it will play out. But yeah, we know this is daily supply area here at 332. In an uptrend, if this is going to be a true range breakout, it will clear this and, you know, begin to head higher and fill the gap to the daily 200 EMA, which is at $3.90. So in general, I like the plan to look for that weekly demand if it's given. It seems very like a very logical place for Ton to go in this weekly demand zone. Let's see. Dynasty says, at this point, there is no reason to buy altcoins. Bitcoin is performing better than anything during these low times. And somebody says, we got Charge It to the Game, who's got a Bobo profile picture. I like that profile picture, man. He says, you're completely wrong. This is when you accumulate. When the rotation happens, it will be fast and you'll be left sidelined. Don't do that. Okay, so looking at this conversation, or there's interaction between our two live stream viewers here, Dynasty as well as Charge It to the Game. I'm going to have to side with Charge It to the Game here. Okay. Reason being, Dynasty said Bitcoin is performing better than anything during these low times, and there's no point or no reason to buy altcoins. So as I've discussed, at this point in time, I do believe for now, the upside is quite limited on Bitcoin. We have the all-time high at 112K. These are fib extensions. We have a fib extension at 119. We have a fib extension at 131. These are max targets for me for now, for Bitcoin. Max. So that would be, 13% to 25% from the current market price. Altcoins are likely going to move up over 100%, several 100% move, or several hundreds of percent, I should say. So, disagree. I think there's more money to be had in altcoins from this point on. Of course, in hindsight, if we look back, this was a Bitcoin cycle fully. But in my opinion, at this moment in time, I think the money is really to be had in altcoins from this point on. Let's see. YouTuber GoKill says, if the 4-year cycle is truly broken, Bitcoin might no longer drops by 70% in the future. That's a very big hypothetical what if, right? So we got Giorgio's 82100. He says, hey Connor, I'm with my kid at the stroller walking and listening. Any good entries for WLD? There's a lot of hype around this. Respect from Greece. Summer has begun. All right, we got a lot of people talking about privacy coins and privacy chains as well. Did some news release? Why is everyone talking about privacy coins? Did I miss something? Well, this was clean. Let's see, any good entries? I mean, this, daily demand potentially 92 cents if it does dip into there, but that would of course require USDT dominance going up here to at least 5%, 5.1%. And here's Worldcoin. Okay, so this chart's already marked up. Let's see what I have here. Okay, yeah, so interesting. We have a line already at 98.64 cents, and if we pull our fib, we have our golden pocket right at that level. Okay, so I said daily demand at 92. I like the golden pocket. That's also in this daily fair value gap that I drew on the other chart. So, I mean, this looks like a pretty attractive area. We already had one dip into it, got bought up. But, we like 98 down to 85 basically for WLD Worldcoin, Sam Altman's coin. Remember, you have to scan your retina if you want to be included in the Worldcoin database. Make sure you go stand in the line around several blocks so that you can get your retina scanned and be included in that database. Wink, wink, right? Let's see. Dynasty says, everyone has been saying that altcoins are going to go up since January. I don't see it yet. In fact, it was the opposite. Yes, that's what's played out so far. But like I just said, from this point on, I'm expecting the opposite of your opposite. Stamos Real says, I got a bag of Rose. Is this thing ever coming back? That's tough. That's a tough question to answer. Is this thing ever coming back? That's a really tough question for me to answer. Man, this thing is beat down and crazy. So the problem with coins like this, unfortunately, Oasis Rose is not included in the ISO 20022 coin list. Okay. Why do I say that? Because all these coins suffer majorly from inflation. But the ISO 20022 coins like XRP and HBAR, they can still pump with the inflation because they have the narrative to do so. Something like Rose, Layer 1, privacy, AI, it's kind of like all these different narratives. It's not really focused on one. But what am I talking about in terms of dilution? Let me explain that. So this is the market cap chart of Oasis Rose. So one thing to note here is the market cap reached $2 billion at the peak of the last cycle. Okay. And yeah, that was 59 cents approximately. It just made a new all-time low 2 months ago on April 7th. That's not a good look. To answer your question, no, I don't think Rose is going to come back. Made a new all-time low. It's not great. So anyways, so 2 billion market cap at the peak, 60 cents. These peaks, it hit like 1.2 billion market cap. If you look at the price, okay, so over here, it hit a 2 billion market cap and it hit 59 cents. Over here, it hit a 1.2 billion market cap, which is over half of, 2 billion, which was the peak over here at the high. But the price wasn't even a third of the price at the high. Okay, this was 17 cents. High over here, 56 cents according to this chart. It's just minimized returns. HBAR is a great example of this dilution effect. Right? If you look at this thing, the market cap was 6.6 billion at the peak in 2021. The recent pump, we saw the market cap go to 14.3 billion. If we look at the price difference, when it was 6.6 billion, it hit 50 cents. When it hit almost 15 billion, the price only went to 28.30 cents. This is dilution, okay? So coins like Rose that aren't included in the ISO coin list, like they don't really have a reason to be able to pump super hard with all of the dilution, all the venture capitalists that are getting their tokens. Let's see if they're still getting their tokens vested. All right, all the team, the pre-sale buy, whatever. Oasis Rose. So they did their token sale in 2018. The all-time high ROI was a 30x, but they're currently up 38% on their private token sale. And this was a $46 million raise. Okay. And I think it's all fully vested at this point in time. Yeah, it's fully vested now. But basically what's important to note is all these guys here, you got A16Z, Polychain, Pantera, whoever, all they were doing this entire time. Because remember, they bought in at a price of 2 cents. So all this time when the price over here, obviously last cycle, they sold. But even over here in the bear market, the price is 6 cents, 8 cents. They're up 3x on a $1 million position, multi-million-dollar position. So They're just selling, 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 selling. You get the point, right? That's the issue with most of these tokens and why they won't make a comeback. It's just not going to happen. And Dynasty says, side note, Hedera is a gem for the future. Like, it's on the ISO list. So, yeah. It made the list. Joey Joe, this is why you buy limited supply coins or fair launch coins. Absolutely, yeah. Shout out to Man with a Plan. Good to see you. Been a while. Hope you're well. Culbra Capital, thoughts on grass. So grass is pumping right now. Big move. Broke out of the tight Monday range. Okay, so I already had a diagonal orange line at this level, 234, and there's also a 2-day supply zone here. So it's still respecting this range, okay? Let me draw this range out. There we go. So it's still respecting this range at the current moment in time. And now it's coming into the premium of the range, into a supply level. So it's going to depend on the overall market here. Okay, you're seeing a positive move. Most altcoins are putting in a similar move right now. You're approaching supply. So I would look for the reaction at $2.33 and maybe potentially look to short that level. But yeah, you're coming into the range highs, okay? So we're either going to have a breakout of this range and, a bit of a nice move, expansion, or, we're going to see USDT dominance go to 5%, and maybe this comes back to range lows or so, bottom of the green, and then it can break. That's how I would approach it. Shout out to Dynasty. He says, awesome live stream, got to go later. Appreciate you being here, man. Thanks for the engaging conversation. Shout out to HD. What is up, HD? A lot of privacy coin enthusiasts. Angelo. It's so funny. You search XMR now. Binance everyone delisted it. Makes you think. Why are they delisting Monero? Monero is a gem, man. It's unfortunate I lost all of mine in a boating accident. It's just gone forever, so sucks. I would love to be a holder of it and be a part of your guys' community, so pretty unfortunate stuff. But for now, this is obvious to me. This is the weekly. Anybody else see this? This sticks out like a sore thumb. If you know what to look for, of course. And that would be right in our golden pocket too. So yeah, if we see 250 on this bad boy, that looks really, really like a great level. $250, but that would be a drop of 22%. It's very realistic. It can do that. So that's the money area on the weekly. You got 250. We got a super chat from Charger to the Game. He says, "What's up, Connor? Can you take a look at Troll? It looks like it's in a good accumulation zone." Let's take a look at Troll here. I appreciate the super chat. And Stacy Lewis says, "Connor, did you have a girl on the boat with you?" Stacy, I don't kiss and tell. Anyways, here's Troll. Well, to answer your question, Charger to the Game, yes, this is in the accumulation zone. We've already drawn out the level here on the chart from a $16.5 million market cap down to an 11 million market cap. It's just above it, but yeah, if you're looking to buy Troll, could be a good price. However, looking at the chart, it's very obvious that this was a bundled launch. Okay, it had no organic move, like it just went straight up. So I say this because that means that there's people out there that are holding this thing that are up hundreds of X's, right? Look at these P&Ls. This is a typical, it's tough, right? Like, if you want to put money into this coin, you have to understand there's a very high likelihood it's just going to be exit liquidity for someone else. So that is a decision you will have to make on your own. But yes, it's close to the accumulation zone. It just pumped out of it earlier today. Let's see. Stamos Real. He says, "Always answering my questions, man. Appreciate it." Hey, you know it, brother. Did you ask a question today? I'm not sure, but I appreciate the super chat. Oh yeah, you asked about Rose. My bad. Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the live stream now. Really not too much going on in the market. We have some nice bounces, that's for sure, okay? But it's still, looking at the Bitcoin Volatility Index, the BVOL, looking at the Ethereum Volatility Index, they are at historical low support levels, which tells us we really haven't seen the true move, okay? We haven't seen a true trending move. When those start to go upwards, we're going to know that, yes, like the real move is happening. But they just keep on going down for now, okay? So we actually ain't seen nothing yet for now. I'll be live again tomorrow. Glad we got this live stream in today, guys. Hope you have a great Saturday and a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you all tomorrow for our Sunday live stream. Of course, Sunday is the community live stream day. That's where we really look at, all of the random tickers and the random stupid, the worst of the worst shit coins out there. We look at them on the Sunday live stream. So if you guys are interested for that one, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed, and smash that bell notification icon so you get notified when the Sunday live stream begins, as well as any other video that I post. That's all from me for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Smash up the like button if you haven't smashed the like button yet, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great Saturday. Connor from Crypto Empire, signing out.